It's working. I think it's working. I think we're good.
Nice.
It's working. Now I think it's working. Now I gotta mute myself.
That's good.
How do you change the view to have it so it doesn't like go back and forth?
I have no idea, man. I'm using this for the first time.
Gallery view. I think that's it. Okay, yeah, gallery view. All right, tell Matt to get in here. We're good to go. We're live.
Zoom. But I can't hear you now anymore.
You can't hear me?
I hear you, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sharing this video now, this link.
Yep.
Should I share it also in this, there's a few groups, Facebook groups?
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, tell Matt to get his butt in here.
Yeah, it works. That's good.
All right, cool, perfect. Yeah, I guess it's just their API or something.
Maybe not even Facebook works.
Yeah, it's fine. I'd rather just go with YouTube. Now we got to get Matt in here.
Let's post this in Silver Pro. Are you a member of the Silver Pro music?
Member what?
This group, Silver Pro.
No.
Let's post it in here. You have the YouTube screen on. Right?
All right, we got people coming in now, trickling in. Where's Matt?
Maybe he went to the fridge getting viewed.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me share this to my Facebook site. And you're good to go.
Sucks we couldn't like cross post or whatever.
Yeah, I think cross posting doesn't work now because we're not at Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, do you think, I wonder like if Facebook Live would have worked. I mean, dude, I told you, like literally Lost Desert had the same exact issue. They were like toying with it for like 45 minutes and they just couldn't get it to work. So they just like, screw it. Like, let's just do YouTube. Looks like Punj has just joined. Getting the saucy train going. Sad. Wow. Ernie Ermac just joined.
Hey.
Yeah, where's Nightbot? If I could only get Nightbot involved in these Zoom chats. Ernie.
Cheers.
Sorry for the delay. Seems like everyone has issues with this nowadays. We tried doing Facebook Live for like the first like 20 minutes and then that wasn't working. And then we tried YouTube for the past like 15 minutes. And now we're doing it from my personal page rather than my actual artist page. So where the hell is Matt?
Disappearing.
It's been changed. We're not doing a Q&A with Matt anymore. It's just going to be me and Nhii.
We kicked him out.
Yeah, we kicked him out.
Oh,
there he is. Oh, there we go. We're live.
We're live. It works.
It worked after 10 tries.
Nice.
Ernie Ermac is in the chat. He says you make really bad music.
Thanks. He told me you make bad music too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got 3 people in here. I think that's including us.
Well, we've got Erdy, who's like the most famous producer ever. So,
So, Matt, shall we start with the tour of my studio?
Yeah, let's start with
yeah,
the tour.
Since I've seen it and Matt hasn't, let's do that.
Yeah.
So let's
Show
start
me
right
around.
here. It's the start. It's the hub. This guy.
Do you use that a lot?
Yeah, I use it a lot. This is the Octa track. It's basically
What's up, man?
basically a mixer where I put all my analog gear into it, and from there it gets into my sound card.
It's a sampler, I think.
It's a sampler. It's a MIDI controller. It has an insanely good sequencer. You can switch between audio and MIDI. It's a crossfader, super fun because you can like apply effects and like say this is the wet signal, this is the dry signal.
Mm-hmm.
You can, like
okay, so you get like a bunch of crazy effects that you control with one knob, but there's no oscillators.
No, it doesn't create sound.
So it's a sequencer and a sampler.
Exactly, yeah. And a mixer because you can like have like 8 tracks basically, and you can use it as a mixer too. So that's what I do with live gigs, live shows.
You have a modular that you use that with your modular a lot, or what?
Exactly, yeah. So my modular output, which is here, this cable here, goes basically as a stereo into it. But I also have a mixer inside my modular where I have like 4 stereo signals.
Yeah.
And they get like summed in the Octa track with a compressor.
That's cool. I love that you're a modular guy. That's so awesome.
It makes so much fun.
You're just like, you're a little nerdier than most of the other guys. Everyone else is just using samples and presets, and you got a modular.
And Chris, we got a beer ID, by the way, from Colin Udvig. We got a beer ID.
Beer ID? Should I show the beer?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce that?
That's Schöfferhofer. Basically a Seltzer, but a good version. I mean, not what you brought last time, so it was insane.
Vader says you're picking up a New York accent.
I do? That's good.
I don't want you to ever lose your German accent.
This next guy, the Electron Cycles.
Oh, cool.
It's a FM groove box, and it's so cool. Like, it has designated machines for like kick drums, snare drums, percussion, chords.
Yeah.
And the good thing is you have this one button where you can modify or like the decay of all 6 machines or like any other parameter at the same time. Cool. So you hold it and you open the decay of the kick drum, of the snare drum, of the chord, of the tone, of the percussion at the same time.
Right.
It's insanely good for like build-ups.
Fills and build-ups, and then it all goes back to like the original settings they were at.
Yeah, exactly. Like one drop back to the original pattern. It's amazing.
Trance build-ups?
Yeah, trance. What else? Bass house.
Cool. All right, what do you got there? Is that what you sing into?
That's where I'm singing it.
You don't sing.
That's my Newman Retro rebuild. It's like a guy in England who builds these microphones.
That's a really good microphone.
It's not the original one. It's a rebuild, but it costs like 1/5 of the original product.
Wow.
And sounds the same.
What do you use that microphone for?
Drums.
Somebody asked if you're really singing, Chris.
No, never. You know what? No, not even my girlfriend wants to hear me sing. Nobody.
Dude, and then Corey just joined. He said I look like I smell like a potato. Corey Negrin.
I didn't want to say it, but you totally do.
White Dark is in the house. Lovely.
I mean, I still do.
Yeah, Corey. What's up, Corey?
We have an EP going on with White Dark Knee EP. It's coming. It's coming.
Somebody in the chat is 25% German and approves of your accent.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chris, you had the honor of introducing me to my first vegan meal this weekend.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Vegan empanadas. Yeah, nothing great though. Oh, is that great too?
Yeah, it's great.
Great.
Hi, Gretel.
Gretel just sleeps all day.
Gretel's the shit.
Entirely when I came over back in February, she was just like knocked out the entire time.
She was
Guys,
the best.
I'm not done with my studio tour, by the way. Okay?
Is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I mean, you're never gonna end.
Yeah, another one. So we have the digitone.
Okay. That's a drum thing?
digitone. No, it's basically 4-voice FM synthesizer. Also FM, but with the Triclocs Electron, very capable of like being a pads, for example, can sound very alive with it. You have like so many modulation possibilities. Then I have a Moog Mini Tower here, but I cannot move it right now. It's too many cables. So
what is it?
So, the Moog Mini Tower.
Mini Tar. It's like it's a mono synthesizer.
Monophonic synthesizer of Moog. Yeah.
Cool. What do you use that thing for?
Bass lines.
Like bass lines. Okay.
Yeah, just the bass lines, like subby bass lines. Then let me grab this guy.
What the hell is that?
That's the
Oh no! Party foul.
Oh, happy was empty.
That was my next question. I was like,
yeah. Next question: how do you not spill your beer in the studio?
The good thing is it was empty.
You got
cool.
I'll spill my White Claw everywhere.
The Pioneer thing. That's just like a MIDI thing. Like a MIDI controller?
Huh?
The Pioneer thing was a MIDI controller?
That is actually a drum machine, sample based though. So you gotta throw in your own samples.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing about it is the analog filter inside, which gives a super saucy distortion to it.
Saucy distortion.
Saucy, to use your word.
Big fans of the sauce.
Yeah, and I just gotta wipe the floor here because there was actually some beer inside.
Oh man, it happens.
It happens, yeah, all the time. Happens to me every 2 days actually.
What? Like you spill booze in your studio?
Yeah.
Doesn't that like maybe tell you something that you should probably like?
Something you should work on.
Yeah. You shouldn't spill on your equipment though.
Okay, well.
It's fine.
That's cool, man. I haven't actually like worked with a modular synth before. Like I feel like I kind of get it, but I've never actually had one in front of me and worked on music with it. So that's just really cool. I would love to do that someday.
Yo, you guys should join. You guys should have the YouTube video open so you can see what like.
Oh, cool.
When people shit on me and stuff.
Let's get back into that.
Someone just said, Shamu just said that you have sick art in the wall behind you, Matt.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, my friend Jonah did that. He's a street artist.
You completely revamped the lab since I was there, I think.
Oh, it's chaotic right now because I've been doing some live streams. So I got like the DJ set up in the corner. It's I can't really move the screen too well, but it's super different right now.
Has anyone in the chat seen Adisyn DJ live before? I mean, the music is decent, but the dance moves are like even better. I feel like a live bobblehead doll. Like your whole like torso just like it's like the whacking arm flailing tube man.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
I think my favorite was the opening clip that you had for when you opened for Hernan at SXM. You're just like dude, you're literally just like.
Yeah, I get into it. When I'm into it, I move a lot. You know, it's better than being one of those like boring DJs that just like stand still. You know.
Like me?
Yeah. Like it's looking too serious.
Someone asked what equipment or VST or thing that you think defines the core of my artist sound. He says actually that cue is for everyone. The joking answer is Splice. No, I would say dude, I'm using Omnisphere a ton. Just like the ethnic world section is probably where I'm spending most of my time. And then I feel like always for the Wassu bass, as Matt makes fun of me for, Serum. Like I would say those are like the two biggest tools in my arsenal, for lack of a better word, that I use. But with Omnisphere, there's not really much you can really like do with it.
That's why I don't like Omnisphere at all. It's like so stagnant. Like,
yeah, like sure, you could like automate the cutoff and do some like simple like out of the box modulation in the synth, but even that, I was asking Matt like when we were working on our latest tune, like how you would even go about doing that. But yeah, I'm usually just using it for like a real instrument, like everything in Ethnic World. I feel like is pretty good, and then Serum usually for other stuff. Oh, dude, and recently they're really expensive, but Chris, I'd be curious if you're using this stuff as well. They cost an arm and a leg, but Spitfire Labs, and just Spitfire Audio in general, like their VSTs are really, really good in terms of like authentic organic instruments, usually for like strings and orchestral stuff.
Oh, I know they're famous for like movie.
Yeah, like movie scoring and crap like that. Raul Rain asks, how many bottles of sauce do I add in my hospitality rider? 0 as of now, because the saucy thing started right after lockdown hit. But probably will ask for about 50 in my next show. Speaking of which, interesting topic. When do you guys think that that's gonna like come back? Like, when do you think? I don't know if you guys saw, but Jersey actually like is now opening music venues with like limited capacity. Chris, do you see that?
Yeah. I mean, at some point you have to do something.
Yeah.
If you don't give them a chance to survive, like they're just gonna run out of everything and can close. That's the one. The thing in Germany is most clubs got a decent amount from the government, money from the government, so they possibly can survive if they do a longer lockdown. But
dude, isn't Elsewhere doing some like in Brooklyn? Aren't they doing like using their rooftop and doing some small?
Yeah, they do. Like I play tomorrow at TBA in Brooklyn, and
that's like all on the street. Yeah, they have
they have like 20 tables on the street, and you have to order like food, and you cannot dance. It's not allowed to.
Oh,
dance,
really?
actually.
That's weird.
Yeah, you have to sit.
Okay.
But there's no ticket. You're not allowed to do ticketing right now.
You can't play ticketed event. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what they do is like they offer you as a DJ, they offer you a percentage of the bar gross.
I feel that's shitty. I mean that's obviously not ideal.
I mean, if it's 100%, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, at some point you have to do something about it. Museums are opening up.
Really?
Yeah, museums are open since this week, I guess, in New York.
Wow.
Is it this or next week? And yeah, I mean, everything is going to disappear if you keep it closed for longer than 6 months.
Oh yeah, I mean, things are just gonna start going out of business. You know, like how long can people, maintain their property without making money?
And to be honest, I don't have a problem with dancing with a mask, in a nightclub with a mask.
I can do it.
If that's the solution, then we have to do it.
Yeah. Somebody asked, I'm not sure what mining means, but do you guys have more of a strict or relaxed process when it comes to mining for music? I guess he just means like digging. I'm not sure.
I mean, I always have a hard time figuring out like what I'm gonna play in my sets. So it's like I think it depends on the gig too. So I feel like every gig I try to create like a whole new set based on that. So if it's gonna be like something heavy or chill or that's always a tough question. But I try to just do stuff I like try to find something that I just like. I don't really care about the genre too much.
Yeah.
You know, makes sense.
I tried New Year's Eve when I was playing with Above and Beyond for an hour set at Expo Center. I never planned because I just get anxiety just like looking at my iTunes or my record box. And then I remember like I literally attempted to plan my set for like 30 minutes, and I was basically just like, I can't do this. This is like too much. I'm just gonna wing it. I don't know. So somebody says it depends on the venue. Yeah, definitely agree.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I just put like everything I like.
And the time too, like how long you're playing, you know. Like if you're only playing an hour, like, and you're a producer artist, like, it sucks. It's a crappy. I guess it's a little bit of a crappy thing to hear. Because me personally, when I'm going to see a DJ, I want to see like them tell a story. And that isn't just necessarily with their own catalog, but if you're stuck with like an hour, like your chances are you're going to just play your own stuff because you just have enough content to fill in that hour.
Right. I mean, I was having this talk with Atish yesterday, and I was I just did a live stream for District, and District's notorious for being like a really heavy party.
Yeah.
And like I don't really make heavy music, and I was asking Atish about it, like what he thinks. Like, is it weird if I play an hour and don't play any of my songs? Like, does that make me look weird as a producer? And Atish was just like, you should just play right for the party, like play the right energy for that moment. So I don't think you have to always play your own music as a producer either. Like, I think you really should just play like the right thing for the moment, whether it's your song or it's not your song.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also like edits too of stuff
Edits are great. Yeah, totally.
Time consuming, but definitely worth it. I feel like Raul Rain is asking, what new tech specs did you guys discover during this online streaming phase, except Nightbot?
What?
Tech specs.
What does that mean?
I'm not even sure. I think he's just shitting on me for having a weird relationship with Nightbot and the Twitch streams that my friends do. Moving on. Jimbo says, what percentage do you contribute to your collaborations? I can certainly say my collabs with Jimbo, I contribute about 99.9%. And then Jimbo contributes about 0.01%. Yeah, no, but on a more serious note with like collabs, I feel, dude, it's never like.
That's a loaded question, right? It's like.
It's a loaded question and it's never 50-50, I feel like. It's like. Yeah, I don't know. There's been situations where like literally somebody sent me an idea and I've scrapped like 80 to 90% of what they've sent me, but that one thing that I've kept is a really iconic part of the song. And so like, it just depends. Like I feel like it's never, in my experience, it's always a little bit slated one way or the other, I guess. But in Jimbo's case, he's lucky if he does 0.01%. So. He says that's a lie. He says, I actually meant as if you guys made any upgrades to your gear to up your stream game. No, because I'm lazy. I just like find places to stream with people that have like better gear to stream with, I guess. So no, I feel like even if I tried to do everything myself and tried to like optimize the equipment that I had, I'd still look like crap. Who would be my dream B2B partner? I actually really want to go back to back with Matt when this is over. Like that would be really I think that would be really fun and really interesting. I'm just a little worried that like we would play one of our tunes and he would just be like dancing so flailingly that he would like bump me into the side of the booth and like hurt my hip or something.
That'd be a good sign.
How does it happen actually when you don't have a jam together? What do you mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like for me, the way that I've worked, it's rare that I send, like usually somebody will we maybe send like have like two sends like back and forth. Like somebody will send me something and I'll finish it off, or I'll send something, they'll work on it and then they'll send it back and I'll finish it off. I would say most of the time I'm mixing and mastering the collabs. Most of the time, Chris thinks that my masters are insanely overcompressed, but I think he's just a little bit soft and has hearing damage, so he can't take the loudness of my tunes.
I think he's jelly.
Sorry, just the ear of a professional audio engineer.
Yeah.
We're professionals too, okay, Chris?
Studied audio engineer.
Who's Arrow? Arrow's just like bombarding the chat and saying fire, 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 fire. I don't know if either of you guys know him.
It's one of your.
Yeah, I'll accept the fires. How do I see these comments?
You just open the YouTube link and there should be like chat on the right hand side of the screen.
Cool, I'm in. All right.
The next question I want to answer is super important to me. It's from Raul. The streaming scene. I mean, it's hard to say. The whole streaming thing is a dangerous dangerous horse to ride.
Yeah.
The thing is, Twitch, for example, is like totally unregulated, the platform, right? So whenever you get your songs to be played by any DJ on the stream, you don't earn like a cent of royalties. Nothing.
It's not. Yeah, it's not the
It's
same.
just terrible. It's just
Yeah.
terrible, and that's something that has to change. Like, I mean, especially if you look at the pandemic, and maybe it happens again in 2 years or 3 years, you know, then you need something as a second revenue, like income, you know.
Yeah.
And if the gigs fall apart, the streaming should be like ticketed or like at least regulated with like the big royalty companies, so you get like money for each song of yours which get played, right? That's the main part, and that's not happening at all. Not on Facebook, not on Twitch.
No.
Nowhere. It's terrible.
Chris, you haven't streamed in like, dude, you haven't streamed in ages. I honestly can't remember the last time.
I streamed at the beginning of the lockdown, like March.
Yeah, you were streaming
April.
streamed in like March and April.
Yeah.
And then I feel like in May you just kind of like stopped.
One in May, I recorded a set in May, and now I recorded one for Burning Man, which is going to be on a Saturday night. In this virtual.
Are you playing in Burning Man too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What camp were you playing for?
Sparky Arca.
So.
Yeah, it's cool.
No.
I saw you playing for, what is it, District? No.
District, yeah.
District. Cool.
Yeah, tonight actually, yeah.
It looks fun, but then I was like, after the first like moments of euphoria, the streaming, you know, you get like to have like interaction.
Dude, it's also exhausting, right? Like,
yeah, and you have to set up everything yourself, and it's only you, and I have to move my whole studio. Like, I want to stream like outside or whatever, then I bring everything outside, bring it back. It's like being a wedding DJ, you know, you carry all your equipment somewhere. It's crazy, and it's really exhausting. And then you start drinking, you know, and then it's like 11 p.m. You stream for 3 hours. It was fun, you know.
Drunk, you're sweaty, you got all.
Then you're at home, like, okay.
Then you're alone at home.
It just feels weird, you know.
It doesn't feel the same, especially when you're making out a fun set and there's just no one there. It's just you. It's I don't know. I don't see it lasting that long. You know, what I think is more cool is like, you know, maybe like when you're having a production session, just streaming that and like talking to people and chatting while you're producing music and messing around. Like, I'd rather watch that than someone DJing, just because, you know, I could listen to a mix on SoundCloud.
And the quality's better.
No difference to me, you know.
That's a good question.
That's a good part. Also, like Twitch and Facebook, they compress the audio so heavily. So as soon as you listen on a good sound system at home, it sounds terrible.
This is a good question. I like this question a lot. Do you think more people will be discovering you as an artist from your streams, and therefore there will be more people at your gigs? I think that's one thing about the streams, I guess. I think you don't want to be doing them like too often. I think like personally, I think doing it once a week is like overkill. It's too much, but I think like once every, call it 4 to 6 weeks is ideal. I think, yeah, definitely. I think you can still build hype too, because it's still an opportunity to debut new music and see how people respond. I guess like, you know, it's obviously not as good as playing it live in a club or in a venue and whatnot, but still, I think you still get that reactionary feeling from like playing your tune out for the first time, and you could certainly build hype that way. I think, but I don't know. I still feel like at the end of the day, Chris, you and I have talked about this. I feel like it's a double-edged sword. There's some people that think you shouldn't be releasing. Matt, we literally talked about this morning. You shouldn't be releasing music because there's nowhere to like play it out. There's no like nightclubs or venues to sort of have the music heard. But at the same time, like in my opinion, like I think you should still definitely be releasing music right now, because one, this is here for the indefinite future, and two, like you got to stay relevant. Like I feel like you just like people are still consuming music, you know, like listeners and whatnot. So I think it's best to still be releasing music, call it once every 6 to 8 weeks, versus like not releasing anything for like the entirety of the lockdown. So I think at the end of the day, that's the best way to build hype and to build your brand, is to just continue releasing music. But yeah, I think streams certainly help. But yeah, that's a good question.
And also it's a way to, I mean, in my case, it's a way to communicate, right? I put out music with like, sometimes it has a message, so I want to put it out, you know, and I don't care about like,
yeah,
if it's played in a club or not. I make the music and I want it to be out, and if it's on Spotify, you can hear it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's different. It's changed a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like it's still the most important thing. Robbie Akbal just joined, by the way. Nice to see him in here.
Robbie.
What's up, Robbie?
Some interesting.
But yeah, we also gotta like, I think, like entertain ourselves and entertain people, right? So like, I don't see the point in disappearing for a few months or 8 months until the pandemic is over. It's like, you know, whether you're putting out mixes or music or tutorials, like I think we gotta keep, you know, just expressing ourselves and sharing our passion with people. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think I feel like I'm still feeling burnt out because it's just all I do is really like work. You know, I work at home, and then one thing I've also started doing is once the workday ends, I'll take like an hour, whether it's like to work out or go for a walk or something, and then hit the laptop to make some music. I feel like it's become obviously tougher to sort of find that creative juice to keep going. Jim Ryder just joined, by the way. What's going on, Jim?
What up, Jim?
Evan asks, what are you guys doing other than producing during the lockdown? Nothing. Working out, running, I guess. Chris is drinking a lot of beer.
Yeah.
A lot of female beer at that.
Female beer.
Seltzers.
I mean, I've been doing some other stuff. Like I've been making tutorials, making a website, doing some like managerial stuff, I guess, that I was always too lazy to do. And now I'm like, you know, taking the time to actually build content and make it more professional. So, I mean, I just worked my first website and it was awesome. And, you know, before I was too busy with, you know, whatever, you know, traveling, gigging, making music all the time.
And
yeah.
I started my Patreon page 2 months ago. Like I release every month a sample pack, tutorials,
right,
instruments where I've been live, all this kind of stuff. So that works pretty well. I just saw Oliver is here from House Music with Love. He's one of my Patreons actually. He enjoys the tutorials, I hope.
And your kick drum sample?
Alex Esser, you said?
Huh? No, that's Oliver.
Got it.
The other part.
I still want your kick drum sample pack.
I send it to you, dude.
I didn't get it. I didn't get shit.
I remember I asked Chris for his kick drum sample pack, and I like sent him like a new tune I finished, and he's like, "Holy shit, you need new kicks." Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, it's magic. It's pure magic.
Pure magic. The artwork is beautiful.
Yeah, it's my friend.
My friend Colin asks if the three of us were in a fight, who would be the winner? If the three of us were just in a fist fight brawl.
Probably Nhii.
Why?
I think Nhii would.
I don't know.
Why? I'm
such a man.
I never been in a fist fight my whole life. Okay, that's intimidating. I get that.
He's got a beard. I mean, come on.
Seriously, I never was in a fight ever. Like, I think I never seen even one live. I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, oh wait, I saw something like 2 months ago in the lockdown in Manhattan. I saw like a guy running out from a grocery store, and he stole like 2 beers, and the register guy, he ran after him and like slapped him on the back of his head, and then he took the 2 beers away and said like, "Oh man, you suck," and then slapped him and then went away. That was
there's some restaurants in. I think Chris, I think you might have told me this. Somebody told me this, but like some people are like closing restaurants down in Brooklyn, like outdoor dining, because people would just like literally like swoop by and like steal a bottle of wine or something. Or no, that was I think that was there was somebody that lives in that was my friend Max last night. That's right. He was telling me that they were like closing restaurants in like Midtown Manhattan, like by Central Park, because like people are just coming up and just like stealing bottles of booze from like outdoor dining and whatnot.
Wow.
Somebody made I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Magent. Do you guys know how to pronounce that? Magent. Anyway, he'll
I'm
let me
sure. I
know.
think you're right. I think Magins.
Imagine, yeah. So he asked, how do you manage to release on Injuna, Stillborn Talent, et cetera? Is it true that such labels rather invite you on their own, like inbound you for demos when you have a brand rather than listening to demos? Intervision's dynamic also, like the big players.
Yes or no?
Yeah, yes and no.
Is the answer. So in my case, the first release I had on T4 Talent, I just sent a demo on their official email address. And I didn't get a I didn't get
like their demo email and you
yeah, just to run the and I didn't get a answer for like 3 months.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they wrote me back and said, hey, is this still available? And I was like, no, it's not. So there was the bummer, but on the other side, then I was like seeing Oliver Kolecki on one of the festivals in Germany, and we get to talk, and then obviously I said, so yeah, sorry, it wasn't available anymore, and then he send me new stuff, and then he gave me his personal email address, right?
Yeah.
So I think it works. You got to be patient if you use the standard email addresses, right? That's one thing I learned. You got to be really patient. And other than that, like in this case, Innovations, I know that they listen a lot to the demos from a friend. But yeah, obviously it's so much more, or so much easier if you know the A&R, if you know the people working there. That's
100%. Yeah, I think I agree. I think it's a balance between both. I mean, I've had friends that have released music on Injuna that have gotten inbounded, like their A&Rs just reached out to them asking them for music, and that's because they've had good releases on like labels like Sisons or like Lost and Found. Like we see this time and time again, but I think otherwise, like going the demo email route is just always the tougher and the harder route. I think it's best to just go to their parties and somehow try to put a face to the name and build a relationship somehow versus just going at it cold and just going through a demo email address. And I think you handled it exactly right. Like I think when they come back and they say, hey, is this still available? And you say, it's been 90 days and it's like, no, it's not. It shows that you're making moves, you're still releasing stuff, you're signing stuff, and it's not going to be the last tune that you make, So now you have their interest, now you have their attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and sometimes too, like when you've done, I think Atish did this actually. I've never signed anything with Manjumasi, but I think it was 2 years ago when I sent it to like the demo email address, like he replied with his personal email address, which was pretty nice. Evan says, do you not see Twitch as a way for exposure because of how many people might be playing your tracks on their own streams? I think I actually haven't streamed on my individual channel yet. I think it's good if you can stream on like other channels because then you can like capture a new audience, I guess. But I think the more people that are playing your tunes on Twitch, like the better. Like I think a good example of this is like the Volan Sentier remix of Jinx has been like literally played on like every All Day I Dream stream, and now it's like everyone's like waiting for that to get released. Let's see. I spoke to Tim Engelhart about a masterclass, and he said, I don't want people to take a lesson or two and get all my trade secrets. What are your thoughts? Got to make it a more continuous exchange. Yeah, dude, like, I think you should share. Everyone's sharing these days, and I think it's a short-sighted way of, like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, Matt, you obviously do tutorials and stuff, too, and I think, Chris, you've done some as well, but it's like,
I don't think I could show you exactly how I do sound design for something and you won't use it the same way that I used it. So like, I don't think there's any secrets. I think it takes a professional to know how to use something the right way, to use it in like a way that there's space and to sort of tell a story with it. Anyone can go on YouTube and look up a sound design tutorial and, know how to make that bass sound, but do they know how to write melodies? Do they know how to add all the other parts? Do they know how to mix?
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think anyone can like steal your trade. I mean, they could know a technical thing, but that's very different from like knowing how to use it.
Yeah. And I feel like we change over time. We produce differently over time. Like I find
3 or 4
months I'm producing differently.
The tutorial I'm posting tomorrow on the track I did with Nhii, I mean, I'm showing everything. Like I'm opening up the synths and I'm showing
Why?
because there's no secrets, there's no magic, okay? Like it's simple stuff. We just used it in a nice way. And that's usually the response I get when I you know, I did a master class where I opened up some of my biggest tracks, like Departure and all this stuff. And I showed everyone everything. And I've never heard anyone release something like Departure. And a lot of people were like, whoa, this is actually super simple. Like, you know, usually we think it's more complicated than it is, but it's like a few button clicks.
I think that there's one big thing which a lot of people are missing when they do master classes or sharing the knowledge. Everybody has their own ear, right? It's differently developed, and that's a big part. Even if you have the same equipment, the same techniques, your brain and your ear works differently, right? And that's just the hardest part, to develop your ear, right? And that's nothing you can teach in one lesson.
Oh, no.
Or 2 lessons,
Yeah.
right? So you gotta, if you have someone as a mentor, for example, you gotta stick with them for like a few years actually, to like develop your ears in that direction. That's what if you listen to someone who's like a DJ for years, and his track selection is so on point, right, and so precise, and then you listen to someone who's like actually a technically good DJ, but it's like DJ for 1 year maybe, it sounds different, because the ear is just differently developed, and it's such an important and crucial part of music production and DJing.
And I think we all know so many people that can just talk forever about technical stuff and like, you know, equipment and sound design and, you know, all this technical stuff, but they can't actually make music. So there's definitely a difference between like, you know, sort of like textbook knowledge and then actually being able to do something.
But I think one big thing is what you can get, what you can see in those masterclasses is that everybody cooks with water, right? It's like, there's no magic, as you said. There's no magic. Everybody starts with like an empty sheet and an empty Ableton Live, you know, and then you start layering kick drum and snare drum and groove, and then comes the bass line, you know. So it's a good way to get a degree of motivation out of it, you know, because you see, okay, it's not that hard. I might be able to do it, you know.
Yeah, and I agree. The biggest thing is that internal ear. Like that's what a producer is worth. Like that internal ear for melody and mixing and arranging and just feeling when something's right and feeling when something's wrong. Even if it's like a subtle thing, it's like you just know something's wrong, and you got to keep altering whatever it is. You know, you're what's the word? It's improv. You're improvising every time, and so that's what a professional knows how to do. Improvise.
Yeah. I have a strong opinion about this, but Colin says, do you think a kick or a melody is more important? I mean, yeah, the song
melody.
Yeah,
kick drum.
Get out of here.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, it's in a club. I mean, if the melody is good and the kick drum is not good enough for the club, there's no way I'm playing.
Dude, you could have the crappiest mix down in the world, but if the songwriting is good and the chord progression and the melodies and the story that the song tells is really good, then the mix doesn't matter.
Who cares about a kick drum? There's no emotional value in a kick drum.
Yeah, the average listener doesn't get too.
Can we agree that there's like zero emotional value?
But we do agree that there are kick drums which sound warm and pleasing, and we say there are kick drums which are too distorted and sound aggressive, right?
Dude, I'm loving these questions, man. They're so good.
But that's something we can agree on. So there is emotional value to it.
Okay, there's texture, there's rhythm, right? And there is like a texture, is like a feeling to like a really, you know, warm beat and groove, and it has a swing to it. But still, it doesn't have the same emotion as a melody. It just doesn't. And you don't remember a groove as you do a melody. It's like the groove complements the melody, but the melody at the end of the day is the soul.
Yeah, let's say if you say kick drum, you gotta take the groove within this equation, right? It's not the kick drum only; it's the kick drum with the groove.
It's the groove, yeah, because the kick drum is all about how you mix it with the other elements, right?
Yeah, but there are tracks with only a groove which are amazing.
Not really though.
Without melody.
Yeah, which one?
Like that, like. I mean, you know this minimal burning.
Yeah, and they're disposable, man. You
Dude, somebody in the chat's with you, Chris, on the kick drum. If the wrong kick drum. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're producers, so like,
Good answer. Safe. My man.
I've certainly heard songs, and like the kick drum is just awful, or I'm just like I can't play this because of the kick drum.
Yeah, it's such an important foundation.
Obviously, it's important, but it's not what makes or break a track. It should be good. There's a standard. It should reach that standard, and then you should move on to like the important stuff, which is like the melody, bass line, sound design.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be spending too long on the kick drums.
That's true, but I have one track, for example, which is a Mindful Blues, which has this nice.
This guy likes bad kick drums.
No way.
Let's see. Yeah, and to the next question, do you prefer writing melodies with a mouse or a MIDI keyboard? I'm like jamming them out on the keyboard, and then I'm going in to the piano roll and seeing if I can make it more interesting. What about you guys?
For writing, so I used to spend way too long on grooves, just like filling out these big grooves, and then go on to the bass line of melodies, and like that's bad because you know you're like drained by the time you get there. So
yeah.
I kind of need a groove to write the right stuff. Otherwise, I feel like I write stuff and then I start adding a groove to it and it doesn't. So I try just getting a very basic groove. And
when you're writing the melodies, are you when you're writing the melodies, are you like actually playing them out on the keyboard, or are you like?
Yeah, I usually it's usually a combination of playing and editing. So I'll doodle something that kind of makes sense, and then I could edit it more if I want, or leave it like a little sloppy type of thing. But yeah, I don't want to spend too long on drums. Just get a basic drum, like basic core groove, and then get to the melodic stuff.
Here's my answer.
Fair enough. Raw says, how much self-promotion is too much self-promotion according to you guys? Oh boy.
Good question.
Maybe the Wassu fan page is a little too much.
Wow, A+ answer.
A+.
Yeah, that was.
No, I mean, if you put out music a lot, obviously, and you want to promote your music somehow, but I guess 1 or 2 posts are enough for the song, and then maybe 1 week later, once more. You know, it's a hard topic. You know, you don't want to be
you don't want to overdo it for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to overdo it. On the other side, you want to make sure your track gets heard.
And also, it's like, you know, your followers are going to see it. Like, you know, if you make 2 or 3 posts on it, they see it. Like, you don't want to just keep putting it in their faces, because they're just going to be like, all right, like, we get it. We saw the release and we saw the mix. You know, it's like.
I also on the I wouldn't say this is like on the same topic as self-promotion, but like filler content. I think it's good to like have personal posts every now and then. If like Matt's like hanging out Red All and whatnot, but it's like I find it funny when it's like, you know, it's like 2 to 3 weeks or like even a month, and like literally an artist is just posting filler content like every day. It's like, all right, dude, it's probably time for like, and that's like what we're doing. Like that's what the 3 of us I feel like are doing, whether it's like tutorials or like doing a mix or doing a Burning Man live stream or like releasing music. Like we're like, content doesn't just have to be like a release, you know, like you can find ways to innovate. You can find ways to like give and engage your fan base. And I think filler content, if you're posting it like time and time consistently for like weeks at a time, drives me nuts.
There's content that people actually care about. Like I noticed
exactly.
And it gets crazy activity. And then if I post some like filler stuff, it's like just not really that interesting. So that's important. Yeah. I notice people like tutorials. Like when I post tutorials, like that usually gets a lot of likes. Releases do, mixes, like proactive stuff. So yeah, I don't know. There's good content and there's bad content for sure.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It kind of drives me nuts when I see just people posting like filler content over and over again. And then we talked about this before, but John asks, what method works best, starting with a melody or bass line or drums, or building the track up from there? I always start with like atmospheres, chords, melodies, and then I like drums and bass line is like the last thing I do. I have a feeling that Chris is like the polar opposite, probably.
Yeah. I have to be honest. For me, there's no rule. I usually start every track different, but usually it starts with the kick drum.
Kick drum.
I need a groove. I need like a little bit of a groove before I start writing stuff. So, but everyone's different. I think it depends on like the type of music you make, right?
Yeah. That's true, man. What about the organic house question on Beatport? I like that one.
Well, Alex, what do you think about the new genre? Yeah, well, I hate it because Matt Adisyn sends me dumbass memes of organic house, and it just he's since then stopped in the last couple of weeks. But
oh, thanks for reminding me. I'm gonna get back to it.
Please don't. It's just like the most outrageous looking hipster people, and it's like, how do you affiliate this with me at all? I'm like the most like broiest looking producer out there that is not vegan. Although Chris is trying to convert me.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I would have chosen the same name, Organic House, but
I wouldn't have chosen the name. Yeah, the name.
It was definitely a genre which you have to address. Similar, besides progressive house, electronica, downtempo, and there's this field in between, right, which is a different genre.
Right.
So,
I'm bored of a lot of music coming out nowadays. Like when I go to deep house or tech house or whatever minimal, like it's really boring, most of it. But the organic house, like I think I like it more than the other stuff, and I hate to say that because I hate the name and it sounds so cliche, but when I go through the organic house like top 10, like that music to me sounds kind of better. It's like melodically or compositionally, I think
we'll give them that. Yeah,
it's better. I think like there's melodies, there's whatever chords, the mixing and the drums are pretty good. Honestly, it's like chilled out progressive house, and there's some organic sounds.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like deep house and progressive house, like just those two were like previously.
But it's on Beatport, it's organic house and down tempo, right? It's both.
Yeah, they put it together because it's pretty chiller stuff.
And still, down tempo can be pretty aggressive,
Oh yeah, I like some of that stuff.
Yeah, if you go to Berlin like Monday morning, 5 a.m.
I love the way you say Berlin.
It's down tempo, but it's strong, it's punchy,
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too.
But I think it's important to just have your own sound, like fuck Beatport, and don't fuck Beatport, but like fuck the genres and the labels. It's like I think if you have your own sound, you don't have to worry too much about what's popular, right?
Yeah, and usually labels ask you like, what would you like to, where would you like to put, which genre would you like to put the song, right?
For me, it never makes sense. For me,
it's,
in my head, I feel like the stuff I make, it doesn't really fit anywhere, and I'll just say deep house, or now I'll say organic house, just because I don't know what to do with it.
Not banging electro house?
No, I don't know. I just try to put it somewhere that's like, that kind of makes sense. So
I just let the label kind of handle it. Someone asked do you guys organize your sample packs? Like, and if you hate, like I said, sample pack, do you just delete it and get rid of it?
I think that's.
I feel like you're pretty organized.
I think that's. I'm not. I feel like one of my weaknesses has been just collecting a bunch of stuff and not organizing enough, and then having to dig to find the right thing. So
yeah,
I'm trying to get in the habit of every week spending like an hour or two just going through sample packs. And here's something else. I'm labeling my sample packs by genre. So I'm going to have like deep house, I'm going to have techno, I'm going to have drum and bass, and I'm going to have all of those packs in those folders. So if I sit down and I want to produce any type of record, like I know where to go. There's no messing around.
Yeah. What about Jim Ryder asked about plugins. What is like the most used plugins? Is he talking about like VSTs?
And Rolling Cloud. I've been using the Rolling Cloud stuff a ton. Yeah, I think it sounds so good.
I'm Diva, UHE Diva. It's my favorite synth.
Yeah, I would say
that's good.
I'd say Omnisphere, Serum, and occasionally Diva, and then again like a lot of Contact libraries too. I just feel like some of the Contact libraries, the external ones, are just like really hard to beat. Yeah. It's really sad because I want to use the complete stuff. Like I want to use the native instrument libraries, but they're just not doing it for me. I don't know. I feel like the quality with like the external libraries is just like, it's just so good. And like the Heaviosity stuff is really good too. Like Vocalize is really good. Gravity is really good. Scoring guitars is really good. I find myself drifting more to like the film scoring type of libraries.
More organic.
Yeah, more organic. Chris was making fun of me. He like, I think he had a couple of drinks, but he like texted me literally Saturday. I think it was like Saturday at like 12:30 in the morning, like shortly after I left him. And he's like, wait a second, so you like cheesy rock pop chords, but you also like Niels Fromm? That makes absolutely no sense. I was like, wow, I literally feel attacked right now.
What do you mean cheesy pop chords? Like,
he's like, wait, so you like cheesy rock alternative pop chords and you also like Niels Fromm? What does the matter with you?
Yeah, exactly. Like, explain, how does this happen? Like, it's just like two persons live inside you.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, alternative rock is definitely like a guilty pleasure. I get that. I get that from my mom for sure. So yeah, I think going back to plugins on like the non-instrumental side of things, Sound Toys is like a staple. I'm using that always.
Everyone needs Sound Toys.
I'm not using them.
You're not using
them? No. I'm
What are you
trying.
proud of that? You
Echo.
seem like you're proud that you're not using them.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it every November, Black Friday.
Dude, they drop their pants every Black Friday.
I think about it every time, but I'm not getting them, and I end up using only the Everbook plugins.
Yeah. Like the retail price for like Echo Boy or like any of their individual plugins would be like $150, and then Black Friday comes around and they just drop their pants and like sell it for like $15.
Yeah. Everything together for $50.
I love Black Friday. It's amazing for like audio production deals for sure.
Yeah, you shouldn't buy plugins any other time of the year, actually.
Yeah, really no. It's like get to know your stuff until the end of the year, and then you can, add a few more to your library. Cool. I like this last question. What's your favorite tracks of the other two producers on call?
I already know what you guys are gonna say. You're gonna be, I don't like any of them.
For Nhii, I love the last Kidnish one EP you did, Marbles.
Marbles, yeah.
I think both of those were awesome. That's not a killer, yeah. I think that's like, I don't know, that kind of reamped Kidnish in a way. I think it kind of brought that label back a little bit,
Yeah, well, it's strange, still in the charts, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, man. It has an awesome sound.
Yeah, I would say for Chris, I would say Sending Light is definitely one that I really like, the recent release on tour. And then your Harabe release was really good too, man. I'm like forgetting the name of the tune, but you already know, like you already know my favorite tune by you. It's not out yet. That's gonna be a big one. I really love that one. And then for Matt, Morph is money. I mean, so Morph, for those that don't know, Morph was supported in one of Guy J's studio mixes. That's just like an incredible tune. And then his forthcoming release on Kindish is a really good one as well. But I'd probably say Morph for Matt. What about me, guys?
I was gonna say, okay, because I can't pronounce your song names because they're a little complicated. Yeah, Yamenelga.
Yamanelga, yeah.
Yamanelga is up there for me. And I thought Escape was awesome, so I'll put that one in there too.
There we go.
I'm going with Escape, and with Matt I go with Departure, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's a good tune. Dude, the Dream Culture release, the one you did with Prime Edge, dude, that's a groover. What's that? What's the lead? What's the A side of that one called again? I'm so bad with track names, man. I gotta get better with them.
Look what I've done to my heart, or look what you've done to my heart.
No,
look what I've done to my heart.
What was the other one? What was the other one called?
Dreams.
I think that was it. Yeah. That EP was great. I really like that label, man. I think that label's really underrated. Wonder if I should send them music again.
Totally should. Yeah. I think they're putting out some really cool stuff. Dream Culture.
Yeah.
Toronto-based label.
Yeah, I think if they started doing obviously there's nothing going on right now, but if they did a showcase, I'd be there.
Oh, I would go to that showcase 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a boutique label. It's like a really, really quality boutique label.
And it's just they're putting out such forward-thinking deep clubby grooves. I feel like it's just I feel like most things they put out I just really, really liked, and I feel like they're definitely well known in the scene, but I feel like they still fly a little bit under the radar. But I really like what they're doing.
I think they're new though. I think they'll get there. Yeah.
Well, did they rebrand? They kind of changed their art and they stopped accepting demos for 6 months or something.
It's hard to start a label if you're not a big DJ. If you're a big DJ, you can start a label and the first release gets a lot of attention because whatever you have a huge fan base. But to be just start a label out of nowhere, it takes time to build, I think.
Yeah. Are you guys full-time producers, DJs? I'm not. I still work a desk job. The other two are, I guess. Matt,
was until until recently.
Yeah. And then Chris, you are too, right?
Yeah, I am.
How do you feel about Nora and Pure? bizarre question.
I have no feelings.
No feelings.
Someone says she's hot. That same guy who said she's hot happens to be married, so that's nice. Honestly, like she has some good tunes, man. Like again, it goes back to like just her songwriting and her chords and her melodies. But I can't say I've really like followed any of her recent releases. I don't think I've ever played a single Nora tune.
I think I just recently heard a song in the car radio, like Cyrus XM. There was one on XM. I didn't like it, to be honest.
Really? Yeah. She's big time, man.
It sounded like Deep House.
I've never heard one of her songs.
Maybe it was a Deep House song from 6 years ago, but that's how it sounded like. So
someone asked and spelled my name wrong, even though my name is here in the chat, and I'm gonna blast him for it. Will Weston ever release on This Never Happened? No.
Don't do it.
No. It's just I feel like in the past, I feel like in the past like 2 to 3 months, especially, they're like they're essentially like. I don't even know. Like the stuff they've been putting out is just like heavily sidechain synthy, like almost like prog trance recently. So it's just not.
Which label is that?
Lane 8's label. This Never Happened. I did send a demo to them. I think the last time I sent a demo was like 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. But since then, I haven't sent anything. Yikes! Fighting words. Raul says forgettable releases. Ouch. But yeah, unfortunately, like I'm always down to like support music, you know, like, are you guys, I mean, it sounds like Matt's pretty picky. I guess I'm pretty picky as well, but I don't think I've supported a single This Never Happened release, unfortunately. But I can tell you like Kindish, Who Meet Us, like Akbal, Dream Culture, you know, Saison, like I've supported all like releases on all of those labels as well.
I mean, if I like the music, I don't care who released it.
Yeah.
Right. So as long as the music's good.
Yeah, that's true. And it's also cool to discover something new, you know, if you don't know the artist, and I'm always like, oh, it's a good song. Like,
you know what I really like? I really like when I'm digging through Beatport like super, super deep after like a few hours. And then somehow through like the recommended, or you dig through artist profiles, and you find this label that is completely extinct. Like they were maybe like functional like 5 or 8 years ago, and they released for a few years and they just stopped, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I love going through those labels and just picking out the gems that no one's ever heard of. And some of those tracks are awesome. And like,
you gotta dig. Yeah.
So, I mean, I love it when that happens. I mean, it's a shame the label stopped, but there's a ton of those labels, man, that went up and then, you know, I guess stopped and gave up, you know? And there's so much good music out there that's like totally just lost in the internet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So true. That's why I like really love Bandcamp, because labels do like what is it? Actions or like events on Bandcamp. Like you can have 30% off of our catalog from 2010. It's kind of fun to go through there and browse there.
Somebody different Ray says that he the tuning your Instagram story recently, he was like really liking that one. Called it a banger, and he's asking for a release date.
Yeah,
it's coming out.
Yeah, so we just got the artwork for it, which is really cool. Not a release date yet, so probably in the next few weeks, I would assume.
Yeah.
But we got it we think we're trying to get it mastered real quick, and then we'll get a date on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
what? Who's your favorite DJ, and why is it Guy J?
God J. I don't. I think Raul started that God J. He like shares live.
I love Guy J too. I'm like, he's up there for me.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed seeing him live, man. Honestly, it's been ages. I think I missed him the last time that he was in New York. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I think controversial opinion though. I think the DJ that I've like just time and time again have like truly enjoyed seeing, like the person that I can literally see for like 8+ hours, like 8, 9, or 10 hours. I think the best storyteller in my opinion is Cora. I love him, dude. Like I love him as a person.
You should marry him.
What's up?
You should marry him.
Like, because I've seen, I think the one time in, I saw him at 101 Brooklyn. I think it was like 2 years ago, and he played for like I left at like 5 in the morning, but he started at like 9 p.m. I think, and he went until I think 8 in the morning. So he played for like 11 hours, but like he literally started for the first, call it 3 hours or like 2.5 hours, like at like 105, like ambient down tempo beatless music, and then just towards like 3 4 in the morning he's playing like 123 124 just progressive clubby tunes. I love him, man. He's probably my favorite person that I've seen.
His DJ sets are super smooth for sure.
Oh, so good, man.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, it's a different story seeing him for 3 hours. I feel like if I'm going to see him, I want to see him for like, sounds ridiculous, but like 6+ hours. But I just love the story he tells with his sets. Let's see. People saying God J. Oh yeah, the Symbiosis. I forgot about that studio mix that he did back in, or like right before the lockdown hit. That set is bomb. Anybody here who hasn't listened to that Cora's studio mix? It's like 6 hours. It's so good.
I haven't heard that shit. That's really cool.
And then Raul says, God, Jay, Hernan, Cora are the best storytellers. What about you guys? Like, who are your favorite people that you like always get excited to see when they come to town?
Good question. Nhii, why don't you go first with that?
It's a good question. I'm not sure if I have a favorite, really.
Yeah, me neither. That's tough.
It's I don't know. I used to really love Stimming.
Who?
Stimming.
Oh yeah.
Like he was on the early days of Dynamic. Like he was like one of the biggest parts of the Dynamic rise at the beginning of the label.
Yeah.
But now he's only live act, so it's not really a DJ anymore. I like B. Swenson when he plays. That's always awesome. Yeah.
People in the chat are agreeing. They're saying incredible. Jim included. Favorite set that you guys played before lockdown? I'd probably say my night at Do Not Sit for Super Bowl Sunday.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough question. Maybe playing in Ottawa. I played
dude, that looks sick. I remember that. Yeah, like you played at this like warehouse, and it had like.
I mean, that was a little. People. Oh, that was like Halloween, so I don't. That's kind of a little, a few months before quarantine, but that was a really memorable gig. That was special. Like huge warehouse.
Yeah, that was massive.
Amazing production. That was really fun.
Chris, what about you?
I also like Do Not Sit, but I'm going with Rebellion der Träumer, Berlin events.
Classic Berlin answer.
It was Saturday morning, 5 a.m. I played a live set with this guy here, and this guy.
Wow.
So just amazing, like 90 minutes. I don't know what to say about it. It was so good.
What about the longest that you like ideally would want to play for? What's like the longest that you'd want to play for?
DJ said like, I don't care. I would be actually excited to have like a super extended set at some point.
I agree. Yeah,
I would need to prepare for that. Like, you don't just do an extended set. Like, I would need time to like work out how I'm gonna build it. Where I'm gonna not pre-plan it, but I would need to do a lot of like organizing.
I would just wing it. I don't know. I would just wing it. But yeah, I feel like I don't know. I will say like the ideal minimum. Like I really, in most gigs, I really want 3 hours. Obviously, that's like tough to come by. But I feel like I need at least 3 hours to like express myself musically when I'm DJing, I guess. Our sets just.
Well, I mean, and the first like 30 minutes could be whatever, and then you get warmed up. So I think you always need that, right? Like a little warm up time.
Yeah, our sets are just tough.
You gotta go in and out, and it's gotta be solid the whole way through.
Yeah. What about open air warehouse gigs?
Those are great. I love those.
Which one though? Would you rather play an open Chris would play at a warehouse gig for sure.
I mean, right now I play open air. You know, right now I feel way better playing open air if they even are around.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, it's I'm still obviously open to it because you know, that's what the scene calls for. But like, you know, if you're playing until, you know, like 4:35 in the morning, like you're not getting back to your hotel until like, you know, like, or back to your apartment if you're playing in New York until like 5:30 or 6, and it's just brutal. But if you're playing like a day party or like an open air party, it's like, you know, you can still go home and like get reasonable sleep.
True.
I just prefer day parties overall, and obviously the music that I make and listen to, I think is more suited to that kind of vibe. I remember, Matt, when you sent our first collab, it was like 125 BPM, and I was like, I literally, the fastest BPM tune I produced is 3 BPM slower than this, and I freaked out.
Right. But it's still a chill song at the same time.
It is.
Right. It's like fast, but it's got some deepness to it.
Yeah. What do you guys want to talk about? Maybe what you guys got coming up in terms of like releases or like mixes, live streams, and stuff like that?
I mean, I got my Burning Man set tonight, and you can watch that on the District Twitch channel.
Sick.
Like, even if you don't go into the, you know, virtual Burning Man, just like on District's Twitch, they're going to be streaming, and that usually they get a lot of people in there, so that's going to be cool. And then I have a track coming out next month with Howie, H-A-U-I. He's doing.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic producer, and he hit me up, and he's doing like a compilation to like, you know, it's like a charity thing to help support I think Lebanon. And so I gave him a track for that, and so that's gonna come out next month, and I'm really proud of that track. Really beautiful track.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I have an EP with Kindish that should be out in the next month or so. That's kind of, and then I have some stuff in the works, but those are the only like confirmed things I have right now.
Nice. Chris, what about you?
Some EPs. That's actually a lot of music. I have an EP on Karma, EP on Akbal.
There you go.
EP on Tribe Kokotori, which is coming out already next month. EP on Bar 25, Syrian, which is the sub-label of Bar 25.
You have a busy few months lined up.
Yeah, then what else? Patreon, gonna put up a lot of new music on Patreon and unreleased remixes. It's kind of cool to like only give your unreleased remixes to like a small community.
Yeah,
that's super fun. And what else?
Somebody says you're flexing, and I'm inclined to agree.
I feel like you have 10 more releases. You're not telling us, Nhii.
I'm the biggest project I'm not telling at all. It's
like so Chris, what do you got planned? He's like, oh, I got some EPs, and it's like, oh, I'm releasing with this label, this label, this label, this label, this label, this label, this label,
this label, and there's a big album in the works.
Album. Nhii album in the works. Is it just going to be a kick drum and a groove because you like kick drums more than melodies?
It's Romanian micro house all over.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
You know, I mean, I like to go out to that kind of stuff too. Like, this is happening like for a few hours. I'm down for that. It's a good like, what is it, like subgenre of deep house or like minimal even. It's like a very
never heard of Romanian minimal music.
It's Romanian micro house. That's how you're going
to
say.
What, like, I don't even know like what that even is.
I mean, it's a small scene, and they like to release on vinyl only, you know, so stuff like that. It's a really wonky grooves sometimes. Can be anything for like 120 to 132 BPM basically. But everything is very short attacks and short decays, you know. Yeah,
I think somebody asked earlier, controversial question. What is your least favorite? Somebody said, what is, I think it was Colin, it was probably Colin. He would classically ask that question. He would ask, he asked, what are your 3 least favorite genres of electronic music?
Oh,
like big room EDM, definitely.
What was that?
Big room EDM.
Yeah, like
EDM.
Tomorrowland main stage music.
Well, I'm supposed to be playing a big room electro house banger set, according to my friends in the fan group, sometime soon, because they voted me to do that. What else? What other two genres do you not like?
I mean, basically everything was just too aggressive, you know. That's like,
Yeah.
That's something like dubstep. Is it still a thing?
I kind of like it all except dubstep probably. Like I like anything that's like produced good. Like anything that's like, you know, good for its genre I can appreciate, but there's certain things I can never get down to, and that's probably like like electro house, dubstep, the super aggressive stuff.
Yeah. I would say for me, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I can't stand techno. I can't. Like I hate techno. What else? No, I like Afterlife. There's some releases on Afterlife that I like, but I don't really consider that. Like when I say techno, I'm talking about like, you know, basement of the knockdown center, just like 138 BPM, just kick drum ride cymbal techno.
Oh yeah,
industrial techno.
I can't. Like I've given it a shot, and like drum code. I probably would never like listen to any drum code releases. What else? Not a big fan of dubstep. Although if it's like melodic dubstep, I can like kind of get into it in a weird way. And I guess hardstyle is just awful. Like
hardstyle's bad. Yeah, that's like objectively bad.
What genre could you cross into? That's tough. Honestly, like I hate saying this, but maybe like trance. I don't. That's tough. I don't even know. Like, Chris, what about you? Chris would be. I feel like techno. Just like.
Yeah, I can. Romanian micro house actually.
Romanian micro.
No, I'm serious. It's a you gotta listen to it. You should go YouTube and type in Romanian micro house. It's like.
I'm always down.
Really good music sometimes.
I'm down to check it out.
I can see myself being into like slow down psytrance.
Slow,
like all the trippy noises, but just not 140 BPMs, like maybe like 128
or 102 also works.
Or 102, yeah. Because I like the sound design, I just don't like how fast it is, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's a aesthetic sound design.
I guess the other thing too that I wanted to talk about, so like everyone kind of knows here too, is like how do we all like get connected? The three of us, how do we get connected? How do you guys work on the tune together? How do we all come to tour? I think it's a pretty interesting story.
I guess you started it in a way, right, Wassu?
Yeah.
I mean, we met online, I think, by just DMing each other.
Yeah.
Kind of connected online, and then when you came to Miami once, you came by the studio and we worked on some music. But I think later you told me about tour and that this compilation was being put together, right?
Yeah, and wait, you worked on the tune with Chris like I think like 2 weeks after I left when he came down, or no, it was like a month for his Do Not Sit set.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yo, Chris, how was Death on the Balcony that night?
I'm sorry?
Death on the Balcony when you played. You played before them, right? Do Not Sit, pretty sure.
I played after them.
You played after them?
Yeah, which made a lot of sense.
Wow.
They were very, very dreamy, you know, so made a lot of sense. I go after them.
Yeah.
So I think they played 11 to 1 and I played 1 to 3.
Was it Thursday or something?
Saturday.
Did somebody come on after? Because I feel like aren't they open until like 5 or something?
After me was Surreal Flight. The resident.
Oh, that's one of the residents, I think.
Yeah. Or was it Alan? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it made a lot of sense because I mean they play more dreamy than me. So
yeah.
And I'm more tribal, so that makes sense.
Alex says that the Death in the Balcony guys are super nice.
Yeah, I love those guys, and they can play some really good sets too. I've heard them throw down like some killer sets in Miami.
No, people loved it. People loved it. Do Not Sit. Absolutely.
Yeah. So those guys are super cool.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, we had a dinner before that, and somehow we were in the same hotel. I got booked into this ridiculously big rooftop suite by myself. I had
What, for your do not sit thing?
yeah.
Oh, I remember that I was there that night, and we were joking about how you got this giant room, and they had like
no, it's like 3 rooms with a
room.
glass terrace and everything. Like, it looked like so like drug boss Miami, and
You were killing it.
and they were like, "Oh, we got the small room." I must be like, I don't know. I just got upgraded by accident.
Oh man, here's a controversial question: Gorgia Hewitt or Ashevsky?
I think you would marry both of them if you could, right?
I think Ashevsky is still my man crush.
Really?
At this day and age, yeah.
Huh.
I do get the sense. I mean, did you guys catch Gorgia Hewitt's like second live stream for All Day a Dream?
No.
Dude, it was so like out there. Like it was so different from the usual stuff that he played with Ashevsky.
In a good way or a bad way?
Not for me personally. Like it was like I don't even know. I kind of want to see what the guys in the chat have to say. No, Roland, he's the shorter one. Ashevsky's the taller one. But yeah, it was just I don't know. Well, I actually sent him a demo like 2 weeks ago, maybe, directly to Nick, Gorgia Hewitt, and he responded like immediately. He's like, hey buddy, like I'm not like my music for my label going forward is not going to be progressive or like dreamy at all. And,
Oh,
like,
so was it heavy then when he DJ'd? Was it like heavier
it was
stuff?
like weird. I don't even know how to describe it. I want to see
Romanian minimal?
It was very minimal. Yeah. Like minimal, still nice melodies and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like Raul says, musically that set was like very average. Dude, that set blew up. That stream, like it made it on the front page of like EDM Tunes when like the goat jumped on the haystack and like fell over and knocked the camera over. Like he blew up on like EDM Tunes, like your EDM, like it's like a meme set. It's crazy.
The goat thing, I saw
The
it.
goat one, yeah.
Oh my, what
That
was
was
that?
so-
That was like a joke.
Why is he DJing with goats? And is he joking?
He's the goat.
Why is he doing that?
He's the goat.
That was like animal rights abuse.
No, but like why? I saw a meme of like one of the goats jumping in the air and like knocking over a speaker.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. That specific clip like made it onto like your EDM, like all the big EDM blogs. And I'm like, oh my God.
But why did he do that? I don't think I can't tell if he's joking. Because if I DJ'd in front of goats,
I don't think he's
I
joking.
would be like dying. I'd be laughing the whole time. Like I wouldn't be taking myself seriously. But I don't know if he's joking. And that's
I think he's serious. I think I'm not sure. I don't know.
And he's 4, and you don't know if it's funny, if it's not funny.
Well, then also he only played. Yatish brings up a good point that he only played 45 minutes, and then the 45 minutes wrapped up, and people are like, "Wait, you still have like 15 minutes to go." Yeah, wow. I'm not sure. I think it was fully on purpose. Yeah, I would not opt for that type of DJ setup. I mean, what's funny too is the second stream personally wasn't really for me, but the first stream was just incredible. Some of the tunes he was playing was just like unbelievable, and the scenery was just great. People are saying in the chat they don't think he's joking. I'm inclined to agree, but I think his next release on Peace Symphonies is next week, like next Thursday, I think, or something. I always wonder. I guess we'll never know. I'm hopeful that they'll come back in like 2 years or so. I think they will. But I'm curious, like, why they split. Who knows? I'm not sure. I guess I think it sounds like Gorgia Hewitt just kind of wanted to do his own thing.
But they're great. They've done some killer tracks for sure.
Yeah, I think I've seen them like literally like 15 times. Actually, the second to last show, the last show I went in lockdown was with Chris for City Fox Live. But the show before that, I went to go see Gorgia Hewitt and Ashevsky at a spa in Brooklyn in a bathrobe and a bathing suit by myself. True story.
Just wow.
Yeah, well, I didn't think they were going to enforce the costume thing. And, like, thankfully, I had my backpack with me with, like, a robe and a bathing suit. And sure enough, like, everyone's, like, walking around. Dude, I think you were supposed to go that night, Chris. Because I think Corey put you on his guest list because they were closing for the guys, the Wild Dark guys. I think you were thinking about going.
Yeah. Now I'm happy I didn't go, actually.
Somebody says Ashevsky wants to do dubstep again.
I hope so. I hope he plays dubstep for goats.
Is he like a former dubstep producer? Is that a thing? Was it?
He was a dubstep producer, I thought. But yeah, see if they split. They split like 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, pretty much at the beginning of the summer. There's like a formal announcement about it in July. So yeah, I don't know. But all right, we've been streaming for about like an hour and a half now. I'm getting kind of exhausted. Anything else you guys kind of want to like talk about? Any other questions that the chat has for us? This has been great.
It's
Yeah,
fun,
it's
you guys.
fun.
Super awesome.
Um,
Well, dude, we should all make an organic dubstep trio. I think is the message I'm getting from this chat.
Raul, what time is it there right now? What time is it in India right now? Raul's like, he's just always up until like 7 in the morning. Weekdays, like I'm pretty sure Raul doesn't sleep. So yeah. No, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sorry it took so long for us to get up and running, but thankfully we got it to yeah, true, bored of my face. Fair enough. That's fine. 4 a.m. That sounds right. But yeah, no, this was good. I'm down to do it again, guys. Maybe in like a couple months or something. If we like do another release together or something or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
So
Totally. That's great.
you guys have any other questions in the chat before we sign off?
I have a question. Did you record this? Just record it?
It should be up. Yeah, it should be up on YouTube. It should just be up on my personal page. Any more collabs planned? Yeah, that's a good question. Matt and I are working on an EP together. I think Chris and I have not really approached each other to collaborate because I feel like he hates my music. No, I'm joking.
No, only the overcompressed masters.
Overcompressed masters. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Actually, I'm gonna have a tune with Matt together on the Kindish album.
Oh, nice.
Yeah? With me?
It's happening, yeah.
Is it happening?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, well, you gotta send me. I gotta hear it.
No, you're not gonna hear the final version. It's going
Let
to
me hear it.
go on our album.
On it, man. You can just do that.
Yeah. So Matt and I are
But
working on the EP
I'm excited
together.
about our collab, Wassu. I think it's coming out super great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard it. I can approve it. It's really great.
Yeah.
If Chris approves something, that means we've got something. We've got something special.
No, it's really good.
But yeah, we want to put together a third before we start. We haven't even sent it out yet. We want to put a third together before sending it around. So still working on that at the moment. But cool guys, it's been good.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Let's call it.
So, all right, guys. Thanks all for tuning in. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to the three of us. I think all of our handles are just our artist name music, right? So it's Nhii Music, Adisyn Music.
Yeah.
And Wassu Music. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and
Awesome.
we'll be in touch.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.